Hello friends, this is Rishi Gupta and today I'm here to talk about a book that I have been looking forward to reading since a long, long time. And the name of the book is Raavan, Enemy of Aryavarta. So guys, this book has been written by Amish. As you might probably already remember that Amish is also the author of the Shiva trilogy. And I was really, really impressed with the Shiva trilogy. It was a different take on a story that we already knew. We already knew the story, we already knew the characters. He reimagined it with new elements, with new perspectives, and I was really, really impressed with the Shiva trilogy. And that's why I embarked on the Ram Chandra series once it came out. So this Raavan is the third book in this particular series, and the first two were obviously Ram, Scion of Ikshvaku, and Sita, the warrior princess. So guys, I'll be very honest. I love Ramayan. The story is beautiful. It has so many elements of good, bad, dharma, and all of those things. So the story of Ramayana is very, very close to my heart, and it is probably close to almost all of our hearts. And I was to an extent scared at what Amish might bring to the table. So the first two books were not that great. I mean, they were pretty much the same story that we already know, and the not per se the story, but the writing was pretty ordinary. So I did not really enjoy the first two books as much as I did in the Shiva trilogy, but I still went on with it, hoping that it would get good sometime soon. And I think I have arrived at the point that the series has gotten good with the third book, which is Raavan. So this Raavan is a character which I don't know a lot about, because always when we have watched the Ramayan, when we have heard about Ramayan, when we have read about the Ramayan, Raavan is kind of the character that comes towards the end of the story, and he's the villain and he's basically evil. Or has evil tendencies, or is the villain of the story. So we don't know a lot about the character, but here we get a chance to dive into the story of Raavan. Obviously, this must not be the original story of Raavan, but this must be with all the creative liberties that Amish takes in his writing. But still, the structure pretty much remains the same in normally his interpretations. So I was very excited to read about Raavan because I had not had this story told to me before. So again, I must say this is a very, very impressive book. I really like the way the story has been told, the way the character has been developed. So again, for me personally, I knew little about Raavan, but now I know a lot about Raavan. So again, he is he's a character of paradoxes. He's a character of ironies as well, because he's extremely intelligent, he's extremely wise, he's extremely learned, and on the other hand, he's cruel. He has no mercy. He is ambitious to the point of being unfair and being a demon basically. So I really enjoyed this journey right from his childhood days to the point when he becomes the wealthiest and probably the most cruel man in the world. So we get to know. So basically, again, I'll emphasize this, that this is more of a love story. The beautiful relationship that has been described. Again, there was not a relationship existing per se, but there was some bond between Vedvati and Raavan's character. So the entire book is based on this particular relationship. So again, spoilers, guys. I'm going to be talking about the plot points of the book as well. So if you're not read the book, probably not the right video for you. So again, we know that Raavan meets the Kanyakumari when he as a child, and she makes a lasting impact on him. And Raavan basically comes from a dark place. He has a penchant for cruelty. He's kind of a tyrant. He's self-obsessed and narcissistic as well, right? But to all of these negative qualities, there is one thing that balances out all of these negative qualities. That is his compassion, his love for Vedvati. So this relationship between these two characters is extremely beautiful. And how and Raavan's complete devotion to Vedvati is extremely beautiful. Obviously, they meet very, very few times during the course of their lives, but she has an impact on him, forever. He, whatever good existed in Raavan was because of Vedvati. And obviously, when Vedvati was killed, and when and Raavan came to know that she was killed in such a brutal manner, and only because she was trying to protect something that he had given Vedvati, which was the hundi. So and that breaks him. So obviously he already had these negative characteristics, these negative motivations, and once the only good that was there in this heart, the only hope that he had to salvage himself as a person, died. And obviously that was the point when Ravan became the demonic king that we know him to be. So this entire transformation is extremely believable, and especially you get involved with the character. You feel for him. At that point in time, you are really, really sad for Ravan that the only semblance of happiness in his life is gone when Vedvati dies. So that is the point that. So that's the good thing about the book, right? You get to empathize with the characters. You get to get attached to the character to an extent that you feel good, bad for him, even though he is committing terrible acts. So that is the good part of the book. And again, there are few characters that have been developed to a great extent. There are only two characters, I think, which are the primary characters. One is definitely Raavan, and the other is a kind of a surprise package, which is Kumbhakaran. So I always, whenever you've seen Kumbhakaran on television shows, and probably read about him as well, he has been kind of caricaturish. So he's kind of made out to be not with a lot of character depth. But here in this particular book, his character has been developed beautifully. I really like the character of Kumbhakaran. He is the kind of the the good, or the sense of righteousness for his brother. He's trying to pull him, Ravan, to a path of dharma, and he's not succeeding. So the beautiful relationship between the two brothers is amazing. I really, really loved the devotion of Kumbhakaran to Ravan, and the love and sense of protection of Ravan towards Kumbhakarna. And again, so that's a beautiful relationship. I really like that, and really like the character of Kumbhakarna. He is extremely conflicted. He knows that what his brother is doing is not right, and is probably part of, it's basically on the path of adharma. But he cannot do much about it. But still, he's trying his best to, do some good, to convince his brother to not be too evil and not commit acts that, probably will make him beyond salvation. So that character of Kumbhakarna is extremely beautiful. Apart from this, there are not many characters who are developed very, very well. These are the two characters you may spend most of your time with. So again, so a good book. I mean, there's not much else that happens in the book. There is definitely, so again, these are the kinds of books where you have a lot of discussion about topics, about philosophical topics, about topics that go beyond just the flow of the book. So in this particular book, there are a lot of discussion about what is right and what's wrong, what's dharma and what's adharma, what is the meaning of dharma. There's a very, very interesting conversation between Vedvati and Raavan about what the concept of dharma stands for, what is right and what's wrong. For someone to think that a particular act is wrong is very subjective. You might look at the same act from a different direction and realize that this is not dharma, this is not adharma, this is probably dharma. So these philosophical discussions add definitely a layer of depth to the book, because you get to know a lot more. There are a lot of descriptions about the various traditions in our Hindu culture, about various acts that are committed, various procedures that are done, and what's the meaning of those procedures. So you get to deep dive into what our culture means, and I'm assuming Amish did his research, and whatever he's presenting is right. So again, I am very impressed with this book. Again, it's not at the level of the Shiva trilogy, I'll definitely say that, but it is the best of the 3 books in the Ram Chandra series. And I hope that whenever the next book comes, that will be even better than this. So again, Amish has done a good job. I am really happy that the series has improved, with every book, and I hope that the next book, does even a better job of explaining this story to us. So guys, Raavan, definitely a good book. I really liked it, and I probably should also, if you have not read the book, you should also read it. And that's about it. I'll definitely be back with the review of the next book once it is out. So guys, thank you for watching this video. If you like the video, please share, like, and subscribe, and we'll be talking about a lot more. And please keep safe, please stay at home, wear your mask.